Empowering women and unpacking gender. Right across the world and throughout history, women have been given inferior status compared to men. But we tend to forget that women bear children and nurse infants. They automatically assume more responsibilities for childcare. Consequently, women often work in the house while men work outside. Women have always contributed to the economic and social life of a country. As homemakers and mothers, they do invaluable work. It is very difficult to measure the true value of their effort. Their contribution goes unnoticed. Gender inequality. Gender inequality is one of the prominent social evils that our society faces. It implies unequal treatment meted out to boys and girls. It may also be defined as discrimination made between males and females. Not only in India, but in almost all the countries of the world, this evil exists. In fact, gender is a social aspect and not a biological phenomenon. Social aspects. In India, the girl child has faced discrimination from ancient times. The birth of a daughter was considered less auspicious than the birth of a son. Since societies world over are patrilineal, preference has been given to the male child for the continuity of family lineage. Women in the past were denied education. It was considered desirable to educate men, whereas women had no legal status, no right to property, and they were subjected to several evil practices. It was accepted that God had decided to place women at home in the division of labor. The main duty of women in society was to give birth to the children and to look after the home. No freedom was given to them to make decisions even related to their own lives. It was after the Industrial Revolution that women began to work in factories. During the World Wars, women took up jobs in factories which were normally done by men, who had all gone to the battlefield. This boosted the confidence of women. It helped them to gain political rights at par with men, although women were paid less than men in the labor market. But women failed to organize themselves into union to fight for their rights. It is because women saw work only as a means to fill in the gap before giving birth to children. Individual aspects. There exist certain norms and values that determine roles expected from boys and girls in the family. These norms and values are associated with prejudices. We generally fix people into one image and thus create a stereotype. Examine these viewpoints by looking at these statements. Don't cry. You are a boy. Boys are brave. They don't cry. When a baby boy falls and gets hurt, his parents and family members console him through these statements. As children grow up, they start believing that boys do not cry because they are brave and crying is a sign of weakness. And if he cries, others may laugh at him. There are some more stereotypes like boys are strong, boys are good at sport, girls are soft-spoken and gentle, girls are good at dancing and painting, girls are good at cooking, girls are emotional. We accept these statements as truth. We expect all boys and girls to behave accordingly. Discrimination is usually made between girls and boys in the family. Girls are not provided complete food and their health care is often neglected. The high rate of maternal mortality is a proof. Instances of female infanticide and female feticide are quite common. Mortality rate of a girl child is higher than that of the boy child in the same age group. This is not due to any poverty or biological reasons. Preference for boys leads to the discrimination in the treatment of girls, as they are denied equality in terms of food, basic health, and even care by their parents. These evil practices are responsible for a decline in sex ratio. According to 2011 census, for every 1,000 males in India, there are only 940 females. Sex ratio is the ratio of males to females in a population, expressed as the number of females per 1,000 males. Economic aspects. Gender-based inequality also exists in the division of labor within the family. A decrease in males' income and poverty are the main reasons responsible for women joining diverse work field. The pressure of urbanization and consumerism have contributed towards more participation of women in the economic sphere. In rural areas, the parents of the girl child are still reluctant to deprive them from schooling, and they are mostly engaged in doing household work. Activities taken up by women are based on agriculture, such as processing and marketing of homegrown products, making baskets, rolling beedies, weaving, etc. In addition, they do the household work and look after children. Despite of their contribution to every area of life, they do not get to share the fruits of their labor equally. Discrimination is practiced against women in every sphere of life. They are denied with equal facilities in the field of education, health, and employment. In the urban areas, the situation is quite different. Girls get opportunities for education and employment, although the figures are still less for girls than boys. Besides education, women are also entering into various professional fields, including business, administration, industry, defense, etc. But the work she does at home is not taken into account. No matter how high the rung of the ladder she has climbed at the workplace, she is always expected to be a homemaker first. Her ability to handle so many responsibilities is rarely acknowledged. A working woman thus walks on a tightrope and tries to maintain a balance between her work and home. All these factors have led to very few women occupying positions of power and authority. Generally, women are paid less than men for same kind of work. The level of unemployment is higher among women in all age groups. Unless job opportunities are created for women, education is expanded, and special legislations are implemented to empower them, women will remain backward. It is hoped that if men share the responsibilities equally at home, it would have a positive effect on the life of a woman. Yet, society is in transition and things are changing. More and more women are going out to work and breaking traditional stereotypes. Role of social reformers. All the social evils in society from early times have been related to women. Some of these were sati, female infanticide, parda system, dowry, polygamy, etc. Many social and religious reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Dayanand Saraswati, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan during the 19th century made concerted efforts to improve the condition of women in India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy persuaded Lord William Bentinck to prohibit the practice of sati and allow widow remarriages by law. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar founded many educational institutions for girls' education. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan condemned parda system and polygamy in the Muslim society and advocated for education among Muslim women. The government of India has enacted many legislations for removing gender inequality in India. Women are given equal political rights through universal adult franchise. The government has declared dowry as illegal. Women are given equal share in the property of their parents. Governmental efforts or legislation alone will not be able to change the status of women. Change in the attitude and norms of the society is essential to improve the conditions of women in India. Government efforts for gender empowerment. The principle of gender equality is included in the Indian Constitution. It not only grants equality to women, but also empowers the states to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favor of women. The fifth five-year plan onwards has seen a marked shift in the approach towards women issues about welfare to development. The National Commission for Women was set up by an Act of Parliament in 1990 to safeguard the rights of women. There will be improved implementation of economic programs which were already women-oriented with social targets for women. The mid-term review of the 10th plan has identified areas of concern such as sex ratio, high infant and maternal mortality, escalating violence against women, and child trafficking. Measures to uplift health and nutritional standards of women are being taken up. Empowerment of women cannot happen unless they are provided with adequate income-generating activities through wage and self-employment. A number of schemes such as Swayam Siddha, Swavalamban, and Support to Training cum Employment Program are in progress. However, government's efforts and legislation alone cannot change the norms of the society and mindset of the people. Entire society should come forward to bring the desired revolutionary changes. A recent report called Engendering Development, released by the World Bank, suggests that the gender equality is the key to an effective development in any society. The societies which promote women's rights and increase their access to resources enjoy lower poverty rates, faster economic growth, and less corruption than countries that do not. It is also a known fact that educating girls is one of the best investments that a society can make. In the social hierarchy, Women are assigned a secondary position while men taking the central stage. She plays an inferior role which has restricted her to the home and family for centuries. Thus, there is no gender equality. If it is not achieved, it would retard social and economic development. There is no scientific reason to support a woman's inferior status. They have been able to show that they have similar capacities as men and they are capable of doing any job assigned to them. Hence, there is a need to facilitate support systems in terms of women-friendly laws to encourage women to work. They should be given more representation in institutions that make most critical decisions that affect them. Women change the world. Women are the key to improving the well-being of children and achieving lasting change in society. They are improving their lot, but still there is a long way to go before women see anything near equity, even as countries have made slow but steady progress on closing the gender gap in education, economics, health and politics. We cannot neglect the facts in this regard. If we can help women get an equal footing with men, they will help us all globally to succeed. Some of the ways women could change the world are: if they had equal employment, women could raise the country's gross domestic product, GDP. If companies put women in leadership positions, they would both benefit. If women are more politically involved, we would have better policies for our poor. If women are paid more, families would thrive. If more women held political office, they would advance more pro-women policies. If women were more skilled and trained, they would change the technical market. If more women held political power, there might be less government corruption. Women and media. For centuries, women have been the victims of unfavorable conditions at home. They have been subjected to crimes such as female feticide, female infanticide, dowry abuse, and domestic violence. As mass media is a powerful tool, it could have changed attitudes of people towards them, but it has played a negligible role in highlighting women's contribution towards society. It continues to exploit women as an object and reinforce the stereotypes to increase sales. A more serious feature is the increasing number of incidents of violence that take place against women in public places nowadays. A woman is subjected to acts of eve-teasing, molestation, and rape in public and sexual harassment at the workplace. The Supreme Court of India has recognized sexual harassment at the workplace as not only personal injury to the affected woman, but also a violation of fundamental rights. The court insisted that organizations initiate a sexual harassment complaints committee in the workplace. The employer has to provide a safe working atmosphere and a grievance committee to look into the complaints. However, not many institutions have set up mechanisms like complaint committees to tackle sexual harassment. Similarly, the newly elected Bharatiya Janata Party government in Uttar Pradesh has enforced the regulations for the safety of girl students. It has formed the squads, namely anti-Romeo squads, and the administration is directed to take strict action in this regard.